every mock-up that you open up inside Photoshop is going to have layers. And one of the layers typically says, put your artwork here. This one doesn't. But, you know, it's got the background. If you turn the background off, you see, oh, geez, that's the wall and everything else. And you notice that it's got the art here and the rail. You can change the color of the rail. So we're going to turn that back on, but open up the big wall. So we got the handrail. We'll leave that alone. The left wall is right here. The right wall, we're not going to deal with. I'm just going to turn that off. So that graphic disappears. If you want to work with it, you can turn it on, but when you open it up, you're going to find it has elements in here. If you wonder what these elements are, you can turn them on and off in order to see what's going on, in order to see what they're doing. And then down here, this appears to be the graphic. And if you open this up, all the layers will have, that all the artwork is here on this smart object. So we're going to turn this back on. What you do, this would typically say, place your art here. Double click on the smart object. And if you didn't see what I did, I'm going to hit Command W. You double click right on this. See this little icon here? That means it's a smart object. This is a mask. Don't worry about that right now. We'll cover that later. Double click on the smart object and it opens it up in typically a PSB file. This is a large Photoshop document. And we don't want this. We want our own work. And here's where it is, your image here. Only it's not really going to go right there. We're going to turn off group 1 so that disappears. Although you can leave it to say, it goes down in the lower left-hand corner. So we're going to turn that off and come down here to this. And then we need our art. And it comes from either Illustrator or Photoshop. Mine's going to come from Illustrator. And I'm going to choose something that's white because it's a problem if it's white because we won't see it. Or we won't see it well. I have the background locked, so we're not seeing it. It's selected. I'm just going to hit Command-C in order to copy it. Switch back to Photoshop and hit Command-V. And hit Command-V. There we go. And I want this as a smart object. See, add important. Do not, under any circumstance, have this clicked. This is a great thing if Photoshop works well on your computers, but in our lab, this will cause the program to hang. So make sure this is off, not checked, off, and then say OK. And then remember it was down here somewhere, so we just put it over there. Does that work? I don't know. Hit Return to place that smart object. Hit Command-S to save it, Command-W to close it, and there it is. It's sitting too low. It's a little too big. And, what can we do about that? Well, let's come back in the next video and I'll explain.